Hello, loves. How are you? Okay, so let's talk about the full moon in Sagittarius energies right now. First off, if you have been following me on Instagram or Facebook, then you know I've been keeping you up to date with how kind of amazing things have been in the world of energy and with what is happening to us on this planet. So I do have really good news at the end of this, but it has not been very comfortable for many people. And you know, what I can say too is, you know, I'm real sensitive with the power of words, and that's a really big message in this reading right now and with the energies is, you know, really kind of waking us up to the power of our words. And this is something that has kind of become lip service for people because we know this, you know, we've read it, we've heard it. But what I can really say from, you know, kind of the most successful top dogs in the world that I have met, because I do for some reason always seem to meet them. It's kind of cool. And I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, so there's a lot of them here too, but they always give me that same message. You know, they are always forcing me to look even more closely at the words I'm using. You know, so even though I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm saying everything right, look at what I'm manifesting, they still narrow me down even further to, did you just hear what you said? Did you just hear what you put out there? So we all really, you know, continuously need this message about the power of our words and what we're putting out there. We really don't realize how much we are saying that is actually keeping us into the past, keeping us manifesting the same scenarios of the past, and really kind of manifesting a life that is not really the one of our dreams. And what I've discovered most about life is that there's a fine line between living the life of our dreams and living something that is a miserable situation. It's a super fine line, and it's something that really just takes 30 days of dedication and trust in self and attention to the thoughts that we're using in order to shift into that life of our dreams. It can happen so quickly. It's a fine line. It's like a sunset and a sunrise where there's just such a drastic different expression. But the ability for us to really merge into this other space is all revolving around the thoughts in our head and the words that we're saying and how we really view the world. And how we have, you know, basically when things happen to us in our past, a little seed has been planted within us that tells us this is how the world is. There's not enough money to go around. You're not good enough. You're not beautiful. You're not valuable. Money doesn't grow on trees. All the little messages have kind of stuck with us and have been seeded in us, and we don't realize it, but we're going out into the world and we're continuing to manifest through those beliefs, which, you know, we're always talking about this. So the energy right now has really been kind of you know, what I was kind of shown last night about this is that basically all of us are being emptied out. So we're actually being emptied of all those old ways we've been seeing the world, all those old ways we've been seeing our place in the world, our value in the world. And everyone's been kind of going through a really kind of numb space where there's been lots of sadness, there's been lots of depression, there's been lots of, you know, not being able to move forward and do anything. So there's been people just laying around, you know, laying in bed doing nothing. As I put in this one, you know, reading, you know, even watching movies is not so comfortable right now because we're feeling this desire to be pushed forward, to be moved, to make something happen. But at the same time, our bodies won't move. Our bodies don't know what we want to do. Our bodies can't narrow down what we want to do, what will make us feel good. So it's just this really kind of muddy kind of energy is what I've called it, where you just can't really move and it just doesn't really feel good. And then what happens in that kind of scenario is that we then you know, open to judging ourselves, and then judging this as, oh my gosh, am I just picking up on some doom and gloom thing in the world? You know, I don't feel good. I don't feel like things are safe. So am I just picking up on something that's going on in the world? And I can tell you, I can have you rest assured that there's nothing new. There's nothing different that's coming on the horizon. It's just this whole discomfort that we have in being emptied. You know, we are go, go, do, strive to become. Everything about us is wired to make things happen, hit the pavement, go out there, do. And the moment we find that our bodies are not moving forward and are not creating the space for us to actually do the things our mind wants us to do, we tend to judge ourselves or get super hypersensitive to, oh my gosh, something's wrong. Oh my gosh, something's wrong, right? But it's not. It's just that we're being emptied. And going back to what I had said, I really have noticed, like, you know, I know the power of the words, so I hear how people, especially people who are coming forward as authorities, and I hear how they talk about a lot of astrology, and Mercury retrograde's the perfect example. And there's just a whole bunch of old world mentality in the astrology world because it's been learned from people who were authorities from decades ago. And as we know, everything is evolving and changing. We know so much more about the food we put in our body. We know so much more about pharmaceutical things. We know so much more about the things that our body needs to be healthy. Everything is upgrading. And because of that, we have to open to this unlimited potential of what the planets truly want us to know about them. You know, so to say things that are really negative and to put fear into anything going on with the stars is just foolish, and it's old world, and it's either a way to make money off of, I'm going to market items that will help you through this time, or the fact is that a lot of people are addicted to doom and gloom, which I know this one article I wrote, I can't remember what it was on, but I remember I was like, yeah guys, it sucks right now, I'm sorry, I hate to have to say that to you, but it was like my biggest you know, hit of an article. And that's when it really opened to me to, like, gosh, we almost really do like to hear, right, everything sucks, right, everything's going to be bad, right? So we go towards those things. Even if you watch the weather.com channel, you know, they always word it, oh no, da da da. And what do? You race to see, what is the oh no? What's the oh no? Oh gosh, you know? And we aren't really like opening to that everything we pick up on, we're going to take with us and walk with. So if someone's like, oh my gosh, this is the worst restaurant that I've ever eaten at, you're going to go in there really kind of skeptical of the place. You're going to go in there looking for flaws. You're going to go in there really extra judgmental. So everything coming into us, it's really important that we're taking on the right things that allow us, one, to be sovereign and make our own decisions, but also to open to the potential of what the energy really wants to grant us in life. So if you go in going, oh my gosh, if you hear this is going to be the worst week of the month, it's gonna be. I mean, it's like you're gonna, everything that happens, you're going to make it even more of a molehill into a mountain. You know, you're gonna make it that much more worse. And that's what the Mercury retrograde thing is all about. Everyone's like doom, gloom, doom, gloom, doom, gloom, and every single thing that trips you up, you're gonna keep going, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, and you're gonna feed into that energy of creating this dark and nasty and murky thing. And it's what the dark forces have always loved. They love to feed the fear in us, feed the fear, you know. So anyway, my point is that, you know, I don't like to put too much negativity into Mercury retrograde, because I know for me personally it is nothing but blessings. There is nothing but amazing things to happen to me during this time. I'm never tripped up. I'm never screwed over. Things don't break. Everything runs exactly how I want it to. So I put a different energy in there when this time comes, and I instead go, what am I going to solve this time? What am I going to get to the bottom of this time? I look at it as a bringing things into balance where possibly they weren't before. So for me, That's how I use the energy. So we all really need to be aware of that and to use this energies in the correct way. But still going back, what I have found though is that this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, and I wouldn't want to put it out there because, you know, then we'll really manifest it. But I did really find that I have, you know, this is in Gemini, it's action, it's doing, it's one thing after the other. And I've just really found that I have not been able to do anything for a couple weeks, you know, like I'm just like, you know, slipping away in all aspects. I can't keep up. I can't get things done. So I do have to say that this one really is kind of bringing that element of slowing us down to, you know, to total stillness. But the reason is all leading up to this full moon in Sagittarius. And it's so exciting because what has happened is when we get emptied out, when we get slowed down, when we're only sitting around and laying in the hammock and taking naps all day and not doing anything, after we beat ourselves up a while for like not being able to perform and do what we're supposed to, things eventually start coming to us. We really, you know, if we suddenly then are like, gosh, I'm so lonely. I need to have more friends in my life. Oh my gosh, I want to have a partner. I'm ready to manifest, you know, someone who really values me. And gosh, you know, I really want to do something with my career, you know, and like, I really want to make this work. And like, what's it going to take? And you know what? I'm not happy in my body. You know, what can I do to really get into shape or to really find something that works? So when you think about it, when we get put into these depressed states, we're really just then having the opportunity to say, what do I need to change that is making me feel so depressed? And if we can just open to that being the purpose of it all, because it is. We don't change things unless we're forced to. We just don't. We go along, we go along, we go along, we go along until we're stopped. We only then really reconsider things. You know, put us in prison and boy are we, you know, so like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have appreciated life more. Oh my gosh, I would have appreciated freedom more. Oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have sold those drugs, knowing that the risk now is that this is my life. You know, and I watched that movie with the kids who burnt the churches in Texas, which I think it's crazy that they got a life sentence for each church. That seems really nuts. It was arson, but who gets life sentence for arson? Do they? I didn't know that you got a life sentence for that. I know someone can rape someone and ruin their life, destroy them feeling safe in the world, and they can get like 6 months and they're out on parole. So to me, getting life for just because it was a church is kind of mind-boggling. But those kids now are like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm never ever going to be out of prison, and I'm in my early 20s and now my life's destroyed. Why did I do that? So it's only when we're like stopped from things that we really say, you know, I want to change my life. I want to do whatever I can to bring in this joy, to bring in this love. And that is what the whole purpose is of why we've been stopped right now. We have totally and utterly been put into this bored space where we're bored, we don't know what to do, we're sad, we don't feel comfortable. But every one of those feelings is attached to things in our body that are begging us to create a new story, or to not even to create a new story, to let go of the old story, to create a new way of making that manifest. You know, so you don't have a job that makes you feel valuable. This time right now is to make you say, you know what, I'm going to commit to 30 days of believing that I can manifest anything, and that I can manifest a perfect job, and I can manifest whatever. So this energy really right now is wanting you to slow down so that you see what is out of order in your life, what makes you sick, what can you not stand one more minute of. And then from there you start the dreaming. And the energy right now with this full moon is so beautiful because it is 100% saying, what kind of new dream would you like to manifest? What, now that you've been emptied, you know, now that you're sitting there in this stillness and you can't move and you don't know up from down, you don't know how to feel comfortable, you're just like, you're just blah. You know, from that space, what would it make? What would it take to bring joy and happiness into your life? You know, what would it take for you to manifest a life that feels so fucking fantastic? Because like I said, it's a fine line between misery and daydream. And right now, all of us are being geared up to create that dream in our mind. And that's why I've been telling you on Instagram and Facebook, you know, think about what you want to change. What is coming up in you? Not that you have to do it overnight, not that you need to think about how this could even be possible, but what would you like to bring into your life? And we are being asked right now to hold that dream. And everyone now with this full moon, it's a full moon, you know, so it's a little different than the new moon, but the energies of it are saying, create the new dream. And I want you to hold that dream. I want you to hold that dream for 28 days to 30 days and not let it go. But not to think about how impossible this could be to happen, or if you're even ready or whatever. Just to be like, I want this to happen. I want this to happen, and I know it's going to happen. I'm ready to create a new dream. And the energies right now, how they're lined up, are saying, reprogram your brain. You know, let's step out of I'm worthless, I'm ugly, no one's ever going to love me, I'm not good at anything, I have no gifts. So step out of all those things that are holding you in the past and imprisoning you in a life that does not make you happy. And instead, start going to that kind of daydream space. You know, what would you really like to do to make a difference in this world? And, you know, again, I'm always saying to you, don't look to what others are doing. You know, really kind of just list all the details of what you would really like to do or what you're really good at. And then from there, just something starts to form. But you don't even have to, you know, think of the end job result. It's okay if you have no idea what you want to do or what you think you'd be good at. That's totally okay. That's actually better. That gives the universe more room to manifest you coincidences and synchronicity to align you to something that maybe won't unfold for 10 years, but you will get put onto a new step that is going to be bringing you closer. So it's best to be like, I'm really good at this, I'm really good at that, I really love to do this, I really love to do that, and then just let the universe be set afire and get to work in lining up the things that'll bring you what you want. You don't know, you know, I'm always telling you that, like, I can look back and see how every job I had brought me to mostly meeting people that have changed my life. And I can go back and I can just weave them all back and say, if I had not had that job that I thought was so beneath me, I would not have these amazing best friends that I have in my life. I would not, some of them even go down to, I wouldn't be, you know, doing what I'm doing now if not for meeting those people, having those opportunities, having those seeds planted into me. And something too that I just heard is that we also, you know, because we're all in this kind of dream space right now of just whatever, you know, no limits on it, you know, what would you really like to, you know, manifest into your life to be happy, and without limiting it, without judging it, without comparing, without putting it down. But there's another thing right now, and I had this amazing experience that is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it dropped into my lap, and I couldn't have dreamed it up. Like, and what was done in this healing capacity for me, I always knew it would happen, and I told this woman, I said, I always knew I was going to meet somebody like you and you were going to do this for me. I always knew this. I wasn't worried. I always knew. So I'm a Pisces, you know, so I've always had those dreams. As far out, I know they're all going to come true too. Like every one of them, each one that comes true, I say, and now those other ones are too. I just know it because I don't give up on them. And, you know, maybe I'll be 70 years old, but it'll come true. And I don't have to worry about, I don't have that need to fill anything in my life. I don't have anything that I see as like, well, if I had that, I'd be whole, because I kind of already feel whole. So whatever, you know, everything is icing that comes into my life. But I had this amazing experience that was absolutely life-changing. Even, you know, there's so many hummingbirds at my house now. Like, I mean, there's like 30, 40 at all times now, but it completely changed my energy, what this woman was able to do. And I felt different the moment it happened, and I still am like, I'm a completely different person. I'm very much in my body. I'm very much who I am. I'm very proud of who I am. I'm very stoked for what I'm going to do, and there's no flinching doubt in it now, because all this stuff was taken away. But it really kind of, what just came to me, and this was open to me anyway, is that there's a lot of healers that I reach. And like I say, I reach the top dogs who aren't top shelf yet, but they're going to be top shelf. And I supply this service of empowering them and keeping them on path, even so that they can get through that 30-day cycle of shifting into a new way of seeing life. So, you know, that's what I'm here to do for a lot of the people out there. And I also see that it is my service to do, because I'm reaching all these top dogs, and all these top dogs are going to make a difference in all these other people's lives out there. So in that, what I've really realized is that, you know, we all have different levels of our healing gifts. But what I can tell you is that we're meant to affect people in random kind of ways. You know, like I had this cacao shaman, like I'm not kidding you, I meet all the people, and this cacao shaman from Guatemala was traveling through the US working on a film. And if some of you have gotten a birth chart book, you've heard me talk about it in some of the descriptions. I think the empath one, I talked about that. But he came to the sweat lodge at my house and did a ceremony with me and just another person, and he had told me, it's time for you to teach the empaths, you know, and he gave me this message, and I marched right in and started up my business. Like, it was the thing that shifted me into saying, I have to do this now. It's my responsibility. I have to teach the empaths. And I had another friend who went to a big group. He did another one in town with like 20 people, and she thought he was total Leo ego, wasn't even interested in the dude. Was just like, no, it did nothing for me. And I'm like, oh my God, it did everything for me. But that's the kind of thing where I want you all to know that we're here to reach specific people. And we're not here to have these huge results on everyone, but there's a certain wonderful timing when we're lined up with specific people where the messages that we give them, or the healings we give them, or the body work we give them changes them totally and utterly and forever. So we always have to kind of be really in our confidence of, you know, we have these gifts, but not necessarily we're going to see these big shifts in everyone that we meet, but there's those certain ones that are ready for us, and they're ready for us. You know, they've been waiting for us. Like I told that woman, I've been waiting my whole life for you. I knew I'd meet you. I mean, the whole time she was doing this stuff, I kept interrupting and saying, I knew I'd meet you. I knew someone could do this for me. So I want you all to realize that, who are in those big roles of being healers for others, and just kind of honoring that you need to get into your position of confidence with self. Because there's people waiting for you where you're going to make this huge life difference. And it can be just like delivering a couple words to them, or laying your hands on them, or playing sound healing for them, or whatever. You know, so whatever you're supposed to do, we're just really supposed to own and be okay with who we are and wherever we're on our path, because we're here to affect people in ways that we can't really imagine. But if we don't show up, you know, if we don't show up, if we don't do the work, if we don't honor this energy right now of really putting our dreams out there, then we kind of delay the whole process and all these other people behind us that we're supposed to affect, because they're waiting for us. Like this woman that I found, I was waiting for her, just her. That one woman, you know, was here to change my life completely. That one woman. So had she not believed in herself, which back in the 80s and 90s, she would do readings for $3,000, which is like, she even now, she's like, she can't believe it, you know. She's not interested in that at all, to have money validate who she is. But had she not lived that, she would not have been there for me at this specific time right now. So I want you all to think about that on your healing journey right now. And really just, I want to end this with, I mean, get for real. I want you all sitting there with your notebooks. I want you just really thinking of all the things. And I know we're always doing this in life. We're always kind of like, you know, that tumbled stone that's constantly being reworked and molded into its true authentic shape. But right now, this energy is different, and that's why there's been such extreme empty, void, depression, sad, boredom, discontent. But it's all really been to empty our minds, 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 and then really start planting from that position of, I need to do something to change my life right now. There's no better time. I don't want to have it be 3 more years down the road and I'm still not doing something that makes me happy. And I want you to really kind of write these things out, and I want you to commit to an entire month of watching all of those words and realizing it's like you're going to a restaurant and that's what you're ordering. I mean, it's the same when you go to a restaurant. What you say you want, they give you, hopefully. But what you say you want, they give you. So think about that with everything you're putting out there. Oh my God, nothing's ever going to work out for me. No, don't even utter those words. My gosh, stop right now, you know? Things are coming to me. I don't know where I'm at right now, but I trust that everything I need is going to come my way. You need to speak in that kind of terms. You don't need to say, oh my God, I've had it so hard though. I mean, dude, if you've been following me, I spent 15 years plus in that space. All I could do was repeat the story of how unbelievably hard things have been for me and how much I had to struggle and how much nothing ever worked. I sat in that story for decades, and it wasn't until I pulled out of it that everything really changed. Like, I don't even see it as anything but a benefit now. Now I'm like, yeah, that created who I am, you know. So pay attention to all those words, and really kind of throw your dream out there, but also dedicate some time to this. And do it for a month. I just want you to like try to manifest one thing, you know, whether it's like commitment to getting into shape, manifesting a partner, whatever it is that doesn't make you happy, a new home, moving, a new job, a step closer into your destiny, soul destiny, purpose work, whatever. Just really commit to it now with this energy, because you're being asked to catapult it. And really just like not give up on the dream, you know, not give up on the dream. Like, I can do this, I can make this happen. And I hope that my story of manifesting that woman, and I'm not really talking about what she did, but that I knew it. I knew I would manifest her. I never gave up on that. I was getting frustrated with it not happening, but I was always looking for her. I was always looking for someone who had those kind of spectacular gifts, and bam, it happened. Actually, the first day that Mercury went retrograde was the day I had an appointment with her, or a session with her. So anyway, I'm going to stop now because I'm keeping these short and quick, remember? So I'm going to be working on the horoscopes, and I have a huge project that I'm working on with Sarah from the Fifth Element Life and Joe from the Darling Tree, and we're going to be launching it in a couple weeks. So this week I'm not even going to tell you about it yet, but you're going to love it, and it's amazing, and it's going to be a new thing that you can have in your life and really kind of have that guidance right with you, so you're always being anchored back to the kind of high vibration way and not sinking into those words and those thoughts that are just taking you back. It's like going up to the restaurant and saying, I want liver, you know. Do you? Do you really want liver? I want cat food, you know. Do you really want cat food? Because that's just what you said and you asked for. So we're going to pay attention to that, and we're going to shift that, and we're going to kind of come together to offer you these things that are going to help with that a lot more. And helping you feel safe in this world so that you can manifest what you really want and not what actually makes you sick. Okay, my loves, I will see you soon. I'm working on the written horoscopes too. I'm just so behind schedule because I was with you doing nothing the past couple weeks. So I will have that hopefully tonight, tomorrow. We'll see. Whatever. It happens when it happens. Okay, I love you, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye.